Hello, today I will show you how to synthesize a kick drum for your epic dubstep tracks. I'm using Operator, but you can use any synthesizer if you really want. Like you can use Serum, you can use Massive. All you really need is a sine wave and a noise oscillator of some kind. That'll be all good to go. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, load up your synthesizer of your choice. I'll be using, as I said, Operator. It's this little thing down here. Can I make it big? I can't. It's already big. As big as it can get. It's very simple. You don't need to do much in this. It's really just to get the actual sound going. So first thing you need to do is you get a sine wave. So I've got here. It's the first thing you open up when you open up Operator. Now I like to just use fixed, which means that it doesn't matter which note I click, it'll play the exact same tone. And I just like to take it down to 40, because then it's a deep one. It's a deep tone. If you know anything about Operator, just keep it on like this mode here and don't really touch anything yet. Next thing we'll do is we'll adjust the envelope, put up the initial, take down the sustain, then you get this plucky kind of sound. I should say you should probably wear headphones for this. So yeah, we got this going now. Next thing is to just shorten the delay. I'd have it around like 24-25 milliseconds. We'll put it at 24.1. That sounds about good. We'll then go to this one. I'm gonna pick noise looped. Now it doesn't really matter which kind of noise you use, as long as you can get a kind of harsh sounding noise, because it's not because it's going to play for a while. It's only going to play to make the transient, you know, when in the kick there's usually like a little hit, and that's what this is going to do. So if I just, just play it a bit, we get that kind of like transient. I need to put it on fixed as well. This will probably have around 200 hertz. I know these aren't like, exact measures to actual notes, but we'll change that around later, so it'll, sound a lot more like a fixed, key or something like that. This is kind of what we want so far. This is what you should have. So that doesn't sound like much, but it's fine. It's fine for now. Next thing you'll do is you'll click this you need to use a pitch envelope of some kind, whether you automate it using a module like knob or an LFO, whatever. You just need some kind of pitch envelope. I guess an envelope to modulate it. Yeah. So put the initial all the way up, take the peak all the way down, and then increase the attack. Anything to give you kind of a sweep. I'm thinking again, 20 or so milliseconds of an attack would be alright. Then you take some kind. You have to put on some kind of slope on this. Take it down. If you're using Operator, I would recommend like 80, 70, maybe 90% slope. Yeah, you don't want too much. Well, I'm saying too much. It's almost 100%. So yeah, that's basically the pitch envelope. Next thing you do, you need a filter. Now if you get into this filter, you'll see it'll be cut off somewhat. And I can't take it all the way up to 20,000 hertz, but realistically, no one really notices anything, especially for a kick. But you want to choose something where you can add some drive to it. I'll be using the PRD, so we can add drive. There are other modes in Operator which allows you to insert a drive. I just find PRD to work the best, but Serum has one I'll show you right now. Like if you're using Serum, of course it won't be looking at this, but you can, just choose a filter, do this, and just add some drive until it sounds decent. For me, it's usually around like the 9-10 decibels. That's pretty good, I feel. Okay, so now that we've got this down, let's just make a really long note. So, well, actually it doesn't need to be this long. It just needs to be a bar. Really, I don't know. Is this a bar? I have no clue at this point. You just flatten it, or at least like get an audio wave form of it. This should be alright. If we go in and look, like that looks good enough. That's our waveform right now. We then just increase the waveform. You can actually cut out some bits. That's a bit too much. So you can cut out this. Realistically, put these two together. There we go. Increase this a bit. Now comes the fun part. The sound design. This will include effects like an equalizer and a compressor. That's basically everything we'll be using. And a frequency shifter, but that will come later. So start with an equalizer of some kind. So let's play again. Oh. Want to increase the low end. And the high end may be a little too harsh on this one. So we can decrease that. Compressor's usually very good for kicks. Compressing it. What I like to do at this point is then to put it into a new audio form, so you have a visual of what you're working on. So what I do is I usually just put... Oh god. Oh god. Wait. There we go. Don't do what I just... I mean, it's not going to change anything. But god, okay. So just, yeah, make sure you're recording in the right track. And you're, resampling it. If you're using Ableton at least. If you're using FL or whatever, there's probably a way to do this. So then you just hit record. Good. You've now got another waveform for your kick. We can just minimize this and, turn it off. So now we go back into the equalizer. Now you're getting that kind of like, bass to it. Still wanna... This sounds a lot better. I've turned down this quite a bit. It's also a very harsh sound, so it's fine. So now we've got this so far. We'll go back and make a... compress this a bit. I'll usually just make a new layer here, but we'll just do another EQ. This time increasing some of the high end a little bit. But like some of the different frequencies. And again, compress it. Remember to make sure that it doesn't clip, or that it clips, so it doesn't go above 0 decibels or whatever. That seems pretty decent, I think. So let's try and put this into a new wave, audio wave thing. And let's minimize this. So now we actually got, I think, a pretty decent one. Still a lot we can do with it. Again, another EQ, usually. I'm not playing anything. There we go. That sounds pretty good, I think. I'll just add another EQ and a compressor to, make sure it doesn't clip. Okay, I think we got the kick kind of there. I say kind of because we're still not 100% there, but we're very close to finishing this kick. So again, just resample by recording. there we go. It's a much bigger waveform now than it was before. So you can, it's like the progression. Yeah, I feel like we've definitely, you can kind of see like it progresses and, you know, it becomes a lot longer and louder now. Just let's take a last quick listen to this. We do anything with it? I feel like this is about enough compression and EQ. This is enough compression and EQ. So now what we'll do is we'll take a frequency shifter. Which basically, you know, shifts the frequencies. That's the point of the name. It basically makes it either like higher tones or lower tones without, like, you know, changing the waveform, if that makes sense. It's just moving the waveform in frequencies. I think, at least. Don't quote me on that though. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. But that sounds very much like a kick. I feel like that's good enough. And then we're about done with the kick now. So we can make another audio track, resample, make sure we're recording from it. And now we've got a kick. This is the evolution of the kick. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but it changes, and it definitely, as you can probably tell through this video, it definitely has a difference in tone, and sounds alright. So now you can just cut it around here. And we can, just to make sure we render the right sounds, we'll just delete everything else. And then you can just export it, and you know you have your own kicks, which work well for, as I said, dubstep tracks. I've used them in some of my new ones that are not out yet, but I feel like they sound really well. This is practically the same thing for making snares as well. It's a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I haven't made toms yet, but I'd assume it's a similar method of doing it, just to higher tones, you know, for fun. Let's try and add a frequency shift and see if we can make a tom out of it. Not quite, but close enough. But at least I'll be saving this kick because I think it sounds actually pretty good. Anyways, that is it for the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, let me know if there's anything else you want to maybe see. I know this isn't the usual thing I usually do on the channel, but I just kind of wanted to do this. It's been something I've had fun with for a while. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. See you guys soon.